Welcome to the Author Like a Boss podcast, episode 1. I'm actually happy dancing in my chair right now because I am so excited to be here with you. My name is Ella Barnard, and for this first episode, we're going to start with letting you know what to expect from the show. So today, I'm going to be going over a quick intro of who I am and what it means to author like a boss. I'll also talk about the formalities of the show a little bit and why I'm really hosting this podcast. It's not just for me, but more importantly, we're going to talk about how it benefits you and why you might want to keep listening in the future. So let me start with a little about myself. I'm the co-owner of AuthorLikeABoss.com, the Author Like a Boss free Facebook group, and the Author Boss Academy. I'm a marketing and mindset coach, and I have a lot of fun helping people create the author life they've always dreamed of. Now, if you know me from the Facebook group, you know I'm completely honest, goofy, and I have a passion for cats and dragons. I'm also all about empowering authors to achieve success with integrity and not in a way that feels scammy, sleazy, or gross, because that's just not good. My aim is for every situation, strategy, or experience to be a win-win-win-win-win-win-win for everyone involved. So thank you so much for being here and listening, and I hope you get some awesome content from the podcast and that you feel uplifted and ready to take action after every episode. Now, before I get to who I am, I want to talk about author like a boss. First, you may have noticed that we made author a verb. That's because being a successful author is all about taking action. It's about sitting down and doing the writing. It's about not just talking about finishing your book, but actually completing it. It's about finding your ideal readers and engaging them in conversation, sending newsletters, and uploading your book so that people can actually buy it. That's why in this show, we really emphasize taking action so that you can author like a boss. We know sometimes it's easier to take action with some motivation and inspiration. So here on Author Like a Boss, we'll be talking to successful authors who have already developed a practice of taking action. First, they're going to share their story. They're going to tell us how they got to where they are now. Then they're going to share their knowledge with you, and they're going to do it with the intention of inspiring you and offering practical tips that you can easily implement. So now, let me tell you a little bit about myself, in case you don't know who I am already, which, is fair. I wasn't always a fabulous podcast host, living my dream of talking to authors about their books. My journey kind of took a little bit of a roundabout way. I definitely wasn't like, I want to help authors when I grow up. I may have wanted to do something around books because I am a ferocious reader, but I had a little bit of a troubled childhood, and so I ended up looking for safety and security. I ended up looking for safety and security and spent years trying to meet other people's expectations. I didn't really actually spend a lot of time exploring new creative pursuits because they didn't have that option. They weren't really available to me. So what I did was I set responsible, realistic, and reasonable goals for my life because they seemed safe and doable and secure. What I did was I ended up as an administrative assistant, and it was safe and secure and really, really boring. And in fact, every day when I went into work, it felt a little bit like my soul was withering. You maybe know what that feels like. And as I got older, I was like, wait a second. I don't have to live like this. I don't have to dread going into work every day. It's not like I'm making a ton of money anyway. I'm an adult now. So if I'm going to just be living on, just getting by, I may as well be doing it, doing something I love. And so I decided to stop minimizing myself, stop minimizing my creative passions, and stop trying to make other people happy before I made myself happy. And what I did was I started reaching out and trying new things. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't know where my passions would take me. I know a lot of authors, they always knew that they wanted to be a writer, but I wasn't quite like I wasn't like that. But I knew I wanted to do something. I knew I had something to offer. So I went to trainings and started exploring new creative interests. I looked for mentors. I met other women who were boldly stepping out of the life that they were supposed to have. And I wrote a book, and I realized that my passion is actually empowering women to create a life that they love. Now, while I was doing some of these trainings and meeting people, I made an amazing friend who also happened to be a writing coach. And after years of encouraging and motivating each other and having fun together, because we were friends first, we each had a realization. We were like, wait a minute, I'm a writer. You're a marketing coach. What if we tried something together? That was her in her voice, right? And that's how we created the Author Like a Boss group and the Author Boss Academy. So what I love about my story is that I've come full circle. When I was younger and my life was kind of crazy, stories and books kept me sane. They kept me dreaming, and they kept me moving forward instead of giving up. And now I get to interview those authors who saved me, or authors just like them, and in doing so, help other people like you, on their journey to write, market, and publish your books. And maybe those stories that we share, your stories, will help some other young woman who is having a rough time like I was. Anyway, that's why I'm so passionate about this. That's why I care so much. So now let me tell you what the show is going to be about and what you can get from the show, especially if you are one of those women who is ready to let go of being reasonable and start pursuing a life with creativity and passion. This first episode is going to be a little different because we're going over the show formalities and what to expect from the podcast. But future shows are mainly going to be focused on these 3 topics. First, we're going to talk about writing. Writing is your gift to the world. Your stories have the possibility of changing people's lives. So think of J.K. Rowling. She was like a woman who wrote a YA fantasy novel that made reading popular again. Like it was a huge deal. Everybody started reading again because she took a chance and shared her gift with the world. Your story has the same possibility, and it might not change millions of people's lives, but it will absolutely change at least one life, yours, and any of the other ones is a bonus, right? So we're going to talk about writing, and you're going to discover the practical tools that authors use to create and share their gifts. And what it's going to look like is authors sharing their writing routines with you, the ones that have helped them to be successful. And they're also going to talk about what they do to revise and edit their work, because I know that's one of the big challenge for people who are just starting out. The second thing the show is going to focus on is marketing. Marketing can be really, really scary for a lot of people, especially because you guys are writers, you're creatives, and most of you weren't a little kid saying, I want to be a writer and marketer. That didn't happen for most of you. So we're going to talk about marketing here so that you have the step-by-step actions and you know exactly what you need to do and do it in a way that feels really, really good. So just a little bit now, a little teaser. Marketing is about finding your ideal customer and putting your book in front of them in a way that doesn't feel sleazy or gross. And you are so fortunate in your passions because as an author, you get to sell in what I like to call an abundance market. What this means is that readers will always buy more books. That's why it's abundant, because there's no scarcity of people wanting to buy books. There's no scarcity of people willing to spend lots of money on books because somebody who loves reading will keep buying more books, just like me. There are very, very few, if any, people who will only buy one book in their lifetime. You either have people who don't buy books or you have people who will keep buying the books. Okay, readers love to read. Readers will always buy more books. And you can have some relief in knowing that all you have to do is write a good book, find your ideal reader, and present yourself and your stories to them in a way that makes it easy for them to buy your books from you because they want to. The secret is they already want to buy them. You just have to get in front of them. That's why I like to call it an abundance market. So the authors that I talk to are going to share with you where to start your marketing and when. Like, what do you start with? What's the first thing you do? They're going to share that with you. They're also going to share their most useful marketing tools. So they're going to share what worked and what didn't work. And they're also going to tell you how to implement them. So it's not just abstract theories, but actual implementational, actual practical tools that you can implement. I'm super excited to get this for you guys. The third thing that we're going to talk about in this podcast is mindset. And this one's not all that sexy. Like nobody really gets excited about mindset, but it's like the core behind everything else, because your mindset about being an author will either sabotage your journey or guarantee your success. Your mindset is the unconscious belief behind every decision you make and every action you take. It doesn't matter how good your writing is if you never finish your book. And it doesn't matter if you know everything about marketing if you never implement any of it. So what is it that actually keeps you from moving forward and taking action on your dreams? It's your mindset and those unconscious beliefs that are holding you back. And they can only be changed and released, those unconscious beliefs, by adjusting your mindset. And that's why we are talking to all these authors about the challenges that they have faced and what motivates them and the mindset that got them from where they were to where they are. And finally, we're going to talk to these authors and get their best piece of advice for other people who are just starting on their journey to author like a boss. Okay, so those are the things we're going to cover: writing, marketing, and mindset. But before I let you go right now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up. Okay, I'm a woman. Yep, I'm a lady. And I am specifically approaching this podcast with a feminine perspective. So this means that I'll be talking about concepts like energy, abundance, vulnerability, cooperative marketing and building relationships, passions, possibilities, and intentions. It's going to get a little bit woo-woo sometimes, you guys, because I love the woo-woo. and it's, and it works. So now I want to tell you why I'm really doing this. So I believe empowered, confident women who are making money from their creative pursuits can transform the world. There's a space of opportunity in the world right now. I don't know if you can feel it, but I certainly can. Okay, there's a space of opportunity that where there's possibilities, you guys, possibilities for women to transform the world. And I want to be a part of it by providing you with the motivation, strategies, and information you need to create the life of your dreams. Because I believe that women who are empowered and confident and are making money from their creative pursuits can transform the world. And you can do it in a way where you actually get to utilize your feminine strengths of connecting and generosity to practically build a fan base and sell books in a way that feels good and natural. And even though it takes effort, there's this sense of flow and ease around it because you're doing things that you are already good at, which is connecting with people and being really generous and giving. We're also, in this podcast, going to have a lot of fun because everything, to my mind, is better with a smile, a laugh, a hug, or a glass/bottle of wine. So this is an invitation to enjoy your journey to author like a boss. come on with me. We're going to have a whole bunch of fun, okay? If this sounds like something you vibe with, please subscribe to the Author Like a Boss podcast and be sure to check out the next episode. Thank you for listening. Hugs and happy authoring.